Afternoon, how are we all doing? Sorry, I'm a bit late again, always late. Afternoon, Crom, Henry, Fletch, Rob, David, John, Stuart, Yarp. Afternoon, Brian. How are we all doing? Sorry, I'm just. Wow, what's happened to Euro US dollar? Right back down again. Right, how are we all doing? Marion, gold already? I didn't do gold this morning. Nobody asked for gold this morning. It's the first day back and no one actually asked for gold. It was amazing. So yeah, we're overdue at gold, aren't we? Let's start off with gold, shall we? I didn't do it this morning, so let's go for gold. Right. It's still stuck in the middle. Not going anywhere. So we've been stuck on gold now since here. Well, pretty much since there, haven't we? Pretty much since the middle of March. We haven't gone anywhere. Sideways. So still not going anywhere. We're on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of this little inter-range bit inside the big range. So yeah, don't know. Waiting for FOMC, guys, basically, I guess. Flatlined. We've had no RSI extensions on the hourly chart since all the way back around about the 19th of April. So yeah, guess is as good as mine. It's going to go up or down tomorrow. Potentially this afternoon, but unlikely. So I reckon, obviously this afternoon we've got the, JOLTs job openings, which is about it. Not going to do a lot, is it? So I reckon we're waiting for FOMC tomorrow. So no movement really. We'll have the PMIs, which will shake it up a little bit, but we're waiting for FOMC, aren't we? So no idea. We will see. Afternoon, James. Derege, pound yen. I have a short on pound yen at the moment. Nice rejection of the highs today. Took out yesterday's high very nicely. Big propulsion gap targets to the downside. So looking good for a short at the moment. All the yens do. Afternoon, Stefan. Afternoon, Baggy. Whipping post. There's a pattern with your internet. Usually always buffers for the first few 5 to 10 minutes of your stream. Happening now. Don't know. It's not my internet. I can guarantee 100% it's not my internet. Yeah, it's not my internet. And it is not my stream. I am 360, 70. Any advance on 70, 80? 85? It was an 85? No, 380. 380. It's not me. And it's not my stream quality. I am streaming with no dropped frames. Don't know. Something to do with Google, YouTube. Ask YouTube. Play some games. Afternoon, Segar. Sup to the rest of you ninjas as well. Sup. Praying for the yen to hit those gaps. Miss the upside. Got through day 5 of Bootcamp over the weekend. Good job. So, yeah, so the yen's basically... Oh, excuse me, I'm knackered this morning. I woke up really early. Yeah, yen's basically all got upside on them, as in coming down. So some of them, they're all starting to roll over. Swiss yen just got out of that one this morning. So, yeah, done 2% today. What for bank today? So Swiss yen, that one closed out. 2 positions done. Euro yen, a little bit of drawdown control done on the euro yen this morning. That's coming down now nicely. Euro odd, that's closed out down there. So flat on that now. Pound New Zealand was a bit of drawdown control. Really? Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry, that was an exit short. Wasn't drawdown control. It was an exit on those 3 positions there. out. Well, that's really dropped. Should have stayed in that one. Aussie, New Zealand also closed out today. Loads closed out today. So yeah, pretty good day so far. 2% up, 3.6% yesterday, so it's 5.7 on the month so far, 2.97% drawdown. All going well. Smoothed out now, only happens with yours though. Don't ask me. Don't know. Nothing's changed this end. 90% of people don't seem to have that problem, so I don't have that problem. It's never ever done it with me, and it doesn't do it in the replays either, so I can't fix it because my end there is no reported problem. Right. So news-wise this afternoon, we got JOLTs at 3 o'clock. Half an hour after the open. Market has just opened. DAX this morning, we had a beautiful ORB to the downside, came straight down to ADR, bounced around and stayed at ADR. There's the short that I said about the pullback, which worked as well if you took that one. But yeah, very good ORB this morning on that. The Dow ORB, there's your pre-market 15, which you've just gone long on, potentially, if you're taking the pre-markets. With the Dow this afternoon, there is a lot of potential movement to the downside. We've got this propulsion target here. So all the way down basically to 150 ADR, which it seems like it's going for at the moment. So there's a breakout to the downside. Really big spread today on the Dow. Lots of volatility. Looking at the earnings today, where are we? May the 2nd, aren't we? So we had MicroStrategy, I don't know who that is, and Arista Networks aftermarket yesterday. Pfizer this morning. We've got AMD and Starbucks and Ford aftermarket today. Going into the rest of the week, we got Etsy tomorrow and Uber, and Shopify and Apple on Thursday. So Thursday's probably the biggest day with Apple and Shopify this week. So the rest of this week, there's not actually a massive amount of earnings to look at. So ORB to the downside. If you are pre-market, you've stopped out on the long and gone short. So yeah, lots of downside potential on this one today. If we look at where we are on the Dow, we took out last month's high there, and basically we're just collapsing down from last month's high. So that was yesterday's price action, which was basically just a whipsaw up and down from the open. Didn't really go anywhere. Tanking very, very nicely today. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, definitely lots of downside. The DAX has got lots of downside as well. So good chance for everything to drop today. I've got a short on the DAX, which I'm running at the moment, which is now nicely in profit, which is good. Oil. Jeez, what's happened to oil? Just looking at I've got a long on oil, which has just suddenly gone into a bit more drawdown. Okay, so oil is coming down to test those lows again. Might take a second position down there. Give me 1 sec. What's happened to oil? Iran's oil minister, Iranian oil production has surpassed 3 million barrels a day. Okay, so the market doesn't seem to have liked that very much. The Iranians outputting more oil. There we go. Nice. Right, so there's your opening range just about to go in. We've got 1.5 minutes left on this candle. That's a whacking great opening range today on the Dow. NASDAQ. NASDAQ's very whippy today as well. NASDAQ's whipping to the upside. So very indecisive but very volatile market this morning. I'll put another quick order on oil. So just quickly looking at oil. So I'm looking basically for this level down here. So I've got a position on here. This double bottom potentially here on Friday's low could potentially be a nice bounce point. If not, I'm looking for this area down here. If we surpass that and get down to 200 ADR, I'm going to dump it basically. It's wrong. But I've taken another little long there. So entries basically is 29 pips, 23 is ADR. So I've taken a second entry here, which is 1 ADR away from that position. And then I'll take another one down there as a third. If we surpass that level, then I'll just dump the lot and take a loss on it. MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin surrogate. Never heard of them. Probably going to affect Bitcoin then, I would imagine, potentially. Depending on what happens with their earnings, I suppose, but don't know. Right. There's your opening range on the DAX, on the Dow. Absolutely huge. So the opening range on the Dow today is 135 points. That's a third of an ADR, over a third of an ADR in one candle. So be a little careful with this Dow if you're trading ORB today, because this is obviously a huge candle for that opening flush, but there's a lot of selling pressure. So there's a possibility of this coming out today. I'm not quite sure why it's so weak today, but we'll see. Neo, which of your EAs would you recommend for passing prop firms? Okay. Depends on the market conditions. You don't pass a prop firm with an EA, you pass a prop firm if the market conditions are right for the trades that you take. So everything will pass a prop firm. Every strategy will pass a prop firm if the conditions are right for the strategy the day that you start the evaluation. So, but opening range breakout is probably the one you would want because you want to pass probably very quickly. Market reversal alerts is a longer term strategy. So if you want safety, market reversal alerts EA. If you want to pass quick, opening range breakout. As you can see there, you've just made an absolute killing on a short. So ORBs today have been fantastic. The DAX was lovely this morning. That, if you're taking the pre-markets, that is, that was lovely as well. James, I have a great internet speed as well, and it happens to me. Once it gets about 30 seconds behind for a buffer, it smooths out. I don't know what that is. It's certainly not my end. I'm not dropping frames. Click to add the kilobytes into your footer. I don't know how to sort it because there's nothing reporting as a problem on my end. So, John, ORB on the Dow versus Nasdaq, ARB EA. Wonder what that would look like. ORB Dow versus Nasdaq ARB EA. I don't even know what that means, John. You've got me on that one. Right, let's quickly run through these ADRs. There's lots of them. So if you took any of these this morning on these Aussies, most of them, or quite a few of them, are still stuck. So we're 225 on the Aussie dollar CAD now. You did have a reversal alert in there. Let's drop down and have a look at all these Aussies quickly. 15-minute. So actually, let's look at them on the 5. So for the 5-minute, you had a reversal alert in there. So you had that high off that reversal alert. That never broke. And it's put that one in there. So you haven't had a reversal on this yet. So this is going to be the first reversal today on the Aussie dollar CAD. So that one's still valid. Huge, obviously, downside on this one. Aussie dollar Swiss. Chart update problems. Oil's just about to hit ADR. We've just broken last month's low. Wow. ADR on oil. That's not updating. There we go. ADR on oil. So you've had a reversal at Aussie dollar Swiss on the M15. My M5 chart's not updating for some reason at the moment. You had the reversal alert there and the retest on the Aussie dollar Swiss for short. That was your first reversal alert this morning, which was there just about. So not gone anywhere. Aussie dollar Swiss completely sideways after this morning's move. Aussie dollar yen. Reversal alert up there. That one's starting to come down nicely. A little bit of yen strength coming through today. So potential for that one to continue to the downside. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. So this was the one I said this morning to get on. Of all the ADRs today, this was the one that had the most chance of dropping because it's the New Zealand dollar. And obviously the Aussie and New Zealand moved together. So when that Aussie stopped, New Zealand dollar took over and that drove down. So there was your entry. You'd be out of that already on the ADR reversal. So that was a nice, easy, quick one this morning. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Your reversal was there. M pattern. That one is still pretty much where you got in. So still playing out at the moment. Other reversals today are Euro odd. Again, that's the opposite to obviously the rest of the Australian dollars. So just sideways, gone absolutely nowhere today. You've got Euro Swiss. That was an ADR there off of 100. There's your reversal alert. That one's in profit at the moment. Not really gone very far yet though. Target on that one to the downside. Got two big targets there to aim for to the downside on that. We just came back up and retested basically that propulsion gap. But again, not really going anywhere. These euros aren't going to go very far until we get the rates on Thursday. So oil's just rejecting ADR. Or trying to. So we just went straight into ADR. A little bit of a bounce there. Lots of targets to the upside. I'm not quite sure what this Iranian oil production means, but obviously the market doesn't seem to like it very much. Euro New Zealand, that is extended as well on ADR. So you've just about got 125 ADR on that. Straight in, filled the propulsion gap, all done to the downside. Upside target at 200 ADR. You haven't had a reversal alert on that one. Oh, yes, you have. Yep, that's had a reversal alert as well. So there's your entry on that one. And we just retested. So good looking potential reversal on there. But again, I don't think we're going to get a massive amount of movement on this euro until Thursday, until we get that rate for the euro. So probably another sideways day tomorrow. However, obviously FOMC is going to move absolutely everything. So we'll see what happens with FOMC. But at the moment, that's a nice looking long. Pound odd, again, same sort of thing as the others, completely sideways, nothing's moved. Huge propulsion target. We didn't get the V-shaped recovery today, so the market is actually holding in place, but nothing's really moving after this Australian dollar. So very odd situation at the moment with this Aussie. Everything's kind of gone flatline against it, which is a bit weird, but we'll see what happens with that. So you've had the reversal alert on that one there this morning, which was off of 150 ADR, but obviously completely flatline and sideways since then. So there is chances of another leg down on this one. All these actually, all these Aussies, basically, remember I said this morning, potentially we're just going to flag and break for a new level down towards these lows and then obviously bounce up from there. But it could just come up. So we seem to be waiting for something. I'm not quite sure what. So whether it's waiting for FOMC and we're just going to hover around, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Pound New Zealand, exactly the same, pretty much. So we had the reversal on that one this morning there. And we're in retest at the moment. So potentially good looking opportunity for a long. That one's 125 ADR. Targets to the upside, there aren't any. That's filled there. So you got that one up there at 200 ADR. Apart from that, we're just testing this massive propulsion gap. So potential for more downside on this one, I think, on the pound New Zealand. Back down into here. So it's either going to bounce from here or we're going to need to push back down into 225 ADR, which is this previous week's support. So back down into 225 ADR. Basically, that would be your best opportunity today. I don't think we're going to get 225 ADR on the New Zealand dollar. Never know, could do. But this is just unraveling basically last week's pushes. You also have New Zealand dollar CAD. Again, all these New Zealands are being dragged with the Australian dollar. So that one's still pushing at the moment. You have had a reversal alert on it. And it's just gone into an accumulation. Lots of downside targets on this one. Again, Canadian dollar probably going to power up with the US dollar. Just target rich environment to the downside, basically. So we're just waiting for this US dollar, hopefully, to power up with the Canadian dollar. But yeah, good opportunity for shorts on New Zealand CAD. That's also extended on the hourly. Sorry, no, it's not quite. It is extended. It's above 70, but not above the 75 level. So getting to the point where you want to be starting to look at shorts on that. Wow, euro pound has just flown into profit. It's pumping nicely. New Zealand CAD. I've got an Aussie CAD on, so I'm not going to take that. But New Zealand CAD, very nicely extended now on the hourly. And obviously we're 150 ADR. I've got an Aussie CAD short on at the moment because I'm trying to play this mean reversion back down, and I've got a second entry planned at that high from 2 weeks ago. So that would be my second entry. So first entry is about 0.3% in drawdown at the moment. So somewhere around there I got in. So I'll be taking a second there, looking to play that back down again. Looks good. New Zealand dollar Swiss also extended on ADR. That one's just started to get a reversal alert now, and an M pattern just starting to go in. So that looks good for a short. That's 125 ADR. Again, nice extension on the hourly. And we've got a nice resistance from 2 weeks ago, potentially for a second entry. Not many downside targets on this. That's your main target, which is previous day's high, which is Monday's high. Sorry, no, that's yesterday's high. Sorry, Monday's high. So that would be where I would want to get out on that one. But if you're taking ADR reversals, you're probably only targeting a third of an ADR anyway, which is going to be somewhere around about 20 pips or so. That's basically in these propulsion gaps here. So nice, easy downside target. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. That one's already played out. You missed it if you're not already on it. That one's started. And US dollar CAD. That one is still pushing up at the moment. You've had a reversal alert on that there. No, sorry, there. And it's just invalidated that and pushed up for new highs. So big propulsion gap target to the downside on that US dollar CAD. Still running this thing. So, whoops. US dollar CAD, we had that big, strong push to the upside, multi-day run, or multi-week run, really. We went into that accumulation where it looked like it was starting to come down. They took the liquidity at the highs and then it absolutely collapsed. So we're just pulling back. So this market structure break here on the hourly, this is basically a pullback potentially on that moving back down to the downside. However, we've got FOMC and the rate increase coming tomorrow night. So I think probably more likely to see this hover around within this area today and tomorrow and wait for FOMC. And obviously FOMC has got the potential for this thing to fly. So we will have to wait and see what happens with FOMC and what basically the Fed say in the press conference as to whether or not we're going to get a bullish or bearish US dollar moving forward. But I'm thinking they're potentially going to come out and announce that this is the terminal rate of 5.25%. So we could see bearish US dollar moving forward from tomorrow evening. So we'll see what happens with that. But we'll have to wait and see. So there's all your ADRs, absolutely loads of those. Dow's pulling back. So if you're on the 5-minute opening range break, you are short, looking for that area there to hold up for a second leg down. So I'm short on that at the moment. Oil, what are you doing? Okay. So oil's out the low beyond ADR. This thing's absolutely collapsing. Obviously, they didn't like that. So, oh, I'm out. I've just got out. There you go. I've just closed out one of my oil trades. But I'm looking to get back in again. So I'm going to move my entry on oil. The 5-minute reversal alert on this. I'm going to have another go at this oil long. So I'm looking for this basically to break back above that high. So we're ADR and we're just taking out the monthly low. So when we break back above that monthly low there, I'm going to take a second long and look to target that high. We've got a gap as well here on oil from yesterday as a target to aim for as well. So gaps get filled. We know they get filled. So it's whether or not we're going to get that filled quickly or whether we're going to have to wait. So like that as a long. But you're not going to get a reversal alert on this until all the way back up there. So that's like 13 pips, which is over half an ADR. So not an easy entry on that. Nice reversal starting on the Dow. Nice rejection in that propulsion gap. So that's a good looking short. I'm not going to take that. I told myself I wasn't going to trade indices on the funded accounts with Fidelcrest, so I'm not going to. Right. Neo, I might go with ADR reversals, EA, as I aim for consistent profits, but I worry about drawdowns as most firms have 5% max daily drawdown. Yeah, well, so basically you just got to manage your risk, basically. The ADR reversals are very, very good when the market is stable. When the market is squeezing, nothing's going to stay in drawdown. So if you're position trading, you're going to struggle with drawdown. It's just a fact of life. So this is the ADR reversal account at the moment. This is sitting basically in 6.5% of drawdown, mainly because those two are in deep DD at the moment. Well, not deep DD, but they're in 2% and 1.5%. Basically, because New Zealand dollar is squeezed, obviously, and the yen has been squeezed as well. So, I mean, it banks very, very nicely. It's done some drawdown control today, but this is obviously trading every single instrument. So, if you should be managing risk, you shouldn't be trading every single instrument, obviously, because you're getting overexposed. So this is shorting the crap out of the Australian dollar, which is obviously rallying. So if you're controlling your risk and making sure you're limiting your exposure to 2 or 3 pairs max per direction, two or 3 instruments per direction, your drawdown will obviously be a lot smaller. So this is the safest one to trade, basically. But hourly, H1M5 at the moment is doing fantastically well as well. So H4's got hardly any drawdown on. Hasn't made any profit yet this month, but it is only 2 days in. So JOLTs in 10 minutes. Yep. UJ's been flirting with me and I don't like it. Dropping at the minute. This is looking like a lovely reversal pattern up here. So we got the reversal on on H1, and that is your retest candle. We got 6 minutes left. So if this closes as it is now, that's going to be retest. So again, potential strength on this yen at the minute. Looking good, the yen at the moment. Bit of strength. So it's probably starting to come down to test some of these propulsion gaps. Whether it's going to get all the way back down and do an A-shaped recovery this week on this, we'll have to wait and see. It's very much going to be dependent on FOMC tomorrow, I think. But yeah, certainly a lot of nice looking movement on this yen at the minute. Euro odds looking good to long. Yep. Got one long on that at the moment on the H1 M5 mean reversion. So again, looking for pushing back up into propulsion. These ones, all these Australian dollars are really good opportunities. I like the price action on this. The fact that we've dropped and we've literally just accumulated for the last 8 hours. So we are just sitting sideways on it. I get the feeling that they might come up and retest somewhere in here. So worst case scenario, look for a 50% retest on the propulsion move. If they are going to pile into the Australian dollar and add to the shorts that they've just added, that's what we would look at, maybe a 50% retracement. So where we are at the moment off these ADR reversals, if you just target half of an ADR to a third of an ADR, you're going to be out before you get to that 50%. As I said this morning, there's a good chance we might just do an A-shaped recovery. Oh, sorry, a V-shaped recovery in this case on these, or an A-shape if you're trading the Aussie pairs as your base currency. So these could well play out today and tomorrow and get back down to here before FOMC. So Dow is just about to re-break out of the lows of the 5 minute. I'm really tempted to hit the button on that. I'm not going to. I promised myself. Pound yen coming home. Yep. Coming down nicely. Yep. I've got that short as well. That's currently sitting in $400 odd. Yeah, so that's coming down nicely. So if you took the initial alert, which was the hourly M5 mean reversion on Friday, you're looking for around about half an ADR or more, depending how much you want. But half an ADR is 85. So you're literally 125 ADR today in that propulsion gap. That's target. Done. Simples. RSIs. I've got quite a few RSIs to look at this afternoon as well. I'm just watching this Dow. Retesting the lows again, trying to get through these lows. Struggling at the minute. Sec. So yeah, so we're struggling down at these lows at present. There's your 15-minute opening range. So the low is just below the 5. 125 on the pound New Zealand. 150 rather. So that's still coming down. So we're just filling this propulsion gap. So if you've got an initial position on this one from this morning, this could be your second entry down here if you're half an ADR apart. So that propulsion gap is 86. Half an ADR is 65. So potentially a second entry there when you get the next 5-minute reversal alert. So we're just going to invalidate this reversal alert. Next one's going to be there. So probably a bit too close for taking a second entry on that one. Not making lows there. Come back to that in a minute. Right. Break time. Can't trade 5 before or 5 after on your Fiddle account. What? Can't trade 5 before or 5 after? What, news? Fiddlecrest don't have news. News filters. Yes, you can trade the news, but be careful. Unless they've got different rules for funded as opposed to others. You can trade through the news, and this isn't news anyway. This is JOLTs. Any prop firms that don't allow you to trade news, they will list the news events that you're not allowed to trade, because they have to clarify exactly what news. So in your Fidelcrest, if they've got in your terms of service that you can't trade news, they have to say what news. Because news happens all day long. Are they saying you can't trade through the core CPI flash estimates for the euro, which happened at 10 o'clock this morning, which had no impact whatsoever? You've got to clarify, but normally they are only interested in unemployment figures, interest rates, and inflation. Maybe GDP, but you shouldn't be restricted from trading JOLTs job openings because the market doesn't do anything. But let me know. I've got a contract with Fidelcrest. I haven't seen anything about news in there. I always read the contract. I didn't see anything about news. But I might be wrong. Let me know. Right, so Dow's just rejected that 5-minute low. Opening range low. So we are still stuck there. US dollar. So there's your reaction to the JOLTs job openings. Yeah, you don't get any movement on this. CAD yen ADR. Yen's pushing very nicely. Beautiful move down on the CAD yen. Just wanted to say thanks. Just since following you, I made 8.2% return on your live account and only 2% drawdown. Good job. Good one, Baggy. Finally able to escape the nightmare. Aussie dollar yen. Sales at break even. Aussie dollar yen. Oil 125 ADR. Dow is just running on the lows again. Fine. It's all going today, isn't it? Okay, so oil, we got a nice tight reversal alert now on oil above that candle. Excuse me. I'm going to pull my entry down on that. So I've taken a second, well, not a second entry because I just scaled out of one, but New Zealand dollar CAD, 175 ADR. Dow is out of the lows. There's your 15-minute opening range breakout to the downside. New Zealand CAD, 175. So weak Canadian dollar on that news by the looks of things. Yeah, very weak Canadian dollar off the back of the JOLTs job openings. Go figure. Unless something's just been mentioned about the CAD. No. So that has had a bigger impact on the Canadian dollar than it has on the US by the looks of things. So that drop down in the US, obviously that's affected the CAD. The CAD comes down with the US dollar, which explains why my Aussie CAD has just gone through the roof. Oops, sorry, wrong one. 5. Okay, Aussie dollar CAD. I'm just basically, I've got a position on this. I'm just taking a second entry on a 5-minute reversal alert. So when we break 200 ADR, basically, I've just taken a second position. This is on the Fidelcrest account. Right, sorry, running too many accounts. Yeah, so have a look at that, Brian. That terms and conditions. I'd be interested to know about that. I have got a Fidelcrest contract because I got through phase 1, so I need to check. I'll check that myself, but I'm pretty sure there's no news issues in there. Dow is just broken out the lows. So we are running for the downside on the Dow. So watch short. We're heading into propulsion here. We've got this gap here. We've got these gaps here. So potentially 150 ADR today if we're going to get all the gaps to the downside filled. So there's loads of downside on this, which brings you back down to that previous monthly high, which is there. So we pushed back up into there, tested that a couple of times, came back, tested it again, accumulated, slammed through it. So that's what I'd be looking for, potentially some kind of bounce at. Actually dropping out the lows, which means the DAX should be coming down as well. Very nice. Right, RSIs. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot today. I've got many accounts running at the same time. I'm going to leave. Right, so ADRs, RSIs. A lot of these we looked at this morning. Aussie dollar CAD still extended on the hourly. We are just up that 75 level, just about to touch above it potentially. So good looking opportunity for a short Aussie CAD. We're 225 ADR. Obviously, if you may have well gotten this on an ADR short there, which at the moment has just been invalidated. We're pushing up to 225. So potentially nice entry anytime on this one. You've just tapped into that weekly resistance there, which is this black line here, which the limit orders have just triggered at. So we may well be finding a load of limit order triggers here, which is going to drive this back down. This was a kind of final hurrah by the bulls, basically, before they get run over. So we'll see what happens with this US dollar. It's just pushed down quite hard, but this might well just push back up again, this US dollar. So we'll see what happens with that one. But good opportunity for shorts there. Hourly extension. Aussie dollar Swiss is extended on the hourly and the 4 hourly. That's coming down already. So there's your hourly RSI extension and your 5-minute reversal alert was that one there. Can't see it. That was your short. That one's just starting to play out. Again, could well get those A-shaped recoveries in today, although it's going to be a very weird looking A like that than the normal A that we get. So we'll see what happens with those, but definitely got potential for all of these just to undo today. Aussie dollar yen, so that's 4-hour RSI extension as well. So we're above the 70 on the 4-hour. Beautiful 24 bounce as well, look. So again, pushing up into the 24. Can't see that either. Got to get my big head out of the way, haven't I? So yeah, pushing up into the 24. So we bounce off the 24 when we're trending. So potentially Swiss franc strength off the back of the euro announcement coming up on Thursday. And obviously if the Aussie is just going to weaken, this is coming down fast. So this is a good contender basically for not taking a quick scalp on it and just letting it run back down to the lows if you want to. Just watching what's going on with oil. Still dropping hard, oil. Not going anywhere at the moment. Aussie dollar yen, so that's coming down as well. So again, same sort of thing, looking for a pullback down into that high. Wow, this oil is really tanking. Push back down into that monthly high, potentially for a bounce to the upside, or again, A-shaped recovery if we're going to get some yen strength coming through. Difficult to tell with this one. So this is basically running straight up into last month's high, which is there. And it's bouncing straight off. So we're either going to pull back into there and run back up into this previous high. Sorry, not last month's high, the previous month's high. That is the previous month's high, which is February's high. So that's where we're going to basically potentially run up into if we are going to go long, but that's folding over very, very nicely at the moment. 125 on US dollar CAD. So strength in that US dollar. Weakness in the Canadian. This This is weakness in the Canadian. Really weakens that CAD. Obviously, oil's tanking. Oil tanker. Good one, Diamond. Yeah, so oil tanking obviously tends to weaken the Canadian dollar because obviously most of its export is oil. So that's dropping, or rather, US dollar CAD is pushing off the oil dropping. CAD yen is the next one. So that's a 4-hour RSI extension. We just looked at that one. Just exited that. Okay. So just exited that CAD yen. If my chart would update. Okay. So one entry, second entry, little bit of drawdown control, exit. Job done. CAD yen. Euro odd. Pound yen ADR. Let's go Aussie yen. Euro yen ADR. Massive movement coming into the yen. Out of the euro yen as well on the last hourly candle. What's that just banked? 3.1%. Get in. 6.7% in 2 days. I'll take that. So I'm just watching my P&L over here on this account because I'm manually. These Feudal Crest accounts are a pain in the arse because you have to manually trade them. You can't trade them with EAs. So I'm having to go back to the oldie ways of manually getting out of positions, which is really annoying because you have to watch your P&L. And I don't want to set TPs. So I'm just keeping a very close eye on the P&L over there. So yeah, CAD yen, you missed that one. Euro odd. That one's starting to move nicely as well. So again, all these Australian dollars seem to be unwinding at the moment. So your M5 reversal alert on that one. You are just about to trigger. Sorry, no, you've already triggered one. That's the other side. So because we went into an accumulation, you got a reversal alert and then you got another support rectangle drawn because we're just going sideways. But there was the last entry on that. The first entry on it was there. So that's where I got in this morning on the M5. So looking for a push up somewhere into that propulsion gap. Two things are either going to happen here. We're either going to get the V-shaped recovery. Yeah. Or we're going to put in a second leg down, which means we'll pull back into this area somewhere and drop. So if you are long on it, half an ADR, so that's 104 pips up to the next resistance, which is yesterday's low. That is 132 pip ADR, and that's 103. So you've got pretty much an entire ADR up to there. So any kind of target lower than an ADR, really, really simple. Exit. Brian's just sent me the Feudal Crest contract. Whoa, what the hell? Whoa, bit too big. Right. News event trading. News event trading is not allowed and is prohibited to open orders on any instrument 5 minutes before and after high impact news. Economic events that cannot be traded can be found in the clients section under the menu link economic calendar. Right. Please remember, high impact news can affect instruments that are not directly correlated to the country releasing its economic data. Right, so you cannot open orders 5 minutes either side. Right, so you need to basically look at, whoa, you need to look at the economic calendar, obviously, that Feudal Crest provide in the back end and see what they class as economic. I'd be very surprised if they class JOLTs job openings as news. Are they saying every news event? Because otherwise, that means you can't basically take any trades all day on any instrument. So literally every time there's a news event, what is it? Red, yellow, orange? They need to clarify this. Probably some of these prop firms, they've got lots of little rules you don't find out until you've actually started. Odd yen, I might take that off. So Euro ads pushing up nicely. Remind me, I got to Euro odd 4-hour RSI extension as well on that one, and that's a lovely 24 bounce. So again, same thing with Euro odd. Yeah, we bounce off the 24, and we're trending 24.72 zone. So that's a nice looking long opportunity. Odd yen. We're just coming down into yesterday's high, which is, we're at ADR. I'm just going to take that off. Again. Stick it in the bank. I'll check the back end was going off Forex Factory. Yeah, you can't go off Forex Factory. They will stipulate what. Actually, let me have a look in my admin area. I just want to log in over here so that I'm not sharing stuff. Web trader, economic calendar. There you go. So 2nd of May. What the hell? ECB, is it the 2nd today? Right. So the ECB bank lending survey, you're not allowed to trade through the ECB bank lending survey. What the hell is that? I've never even heard. That's not an economic news event. Right, so this is Fidelcrest's economic calendar. So today, you can't trade. So that's 11 o'clock broker time. Which is 9 a.m. UK time. So they basically, Fidelcrest class whatever that is as a major economic news event. Wow. Okay. And at 9 o'clock, the retail sales year on year, which would have been 7 a.m. That's German retail. So you can't trade through the German retail sales, which again is yellow news. You've got to be very careful with Fidelcrest. This is bollocks. Sorry. It's a load of crap, isn't it? Harmonized index of consumer prices year on year. Apparently that is going to be, that's 12. So that would have been at 10 a.m. Doesn't even appear on the calendar, unless that's what they call CPI, Harmonized Index of Consumer Prices. They don't even use the name of the news events. Right, well, you just basically got to be careful. FOMC and stuff, yeah, I can understand, but this load of crap has got nothing to do with anything, is it? The trade balance for the Australian dollar. You can't trade through the Australian trade balance. Bank of Canada Governor Macklem's speech. You can't trade through talking heads. What a load of crap. Harmonized index. So read into that CPI basically. Yeah, got to be careful with this, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah, so be careful, basically. Fidelcrest have got some very weird news events that they don't want you to trade through. Why'd you call it CPI? For China CPI? You can't even trade it. I'm going off Fidelcrest. Sorry, load of bollocks. Anyway, coming back to analysis. Afternoon, Tarmo. How are you doing? Thoughts on CAD Swiss? CAD Swiss, I'll quickly cover that one. Middle of nowhere at the minute. Don't know. It's either a flag, break short, or it's bounce long. But for me, it's nothing because it's bang in the middle of nowhere. You got target to the upside, which is very close, or was very close, until the oil price collapsed and Canadian dollar collapsed along with it. So depending on what happens with oil and the US dollar FOMC tomorrow, I couldn't tell you on that one, I'm afraid. No idea. Lot size limit 2. Really? Look on my face. I'm sorry, I've never seen anything so ridiculous in my life. They say you can't trade news, and they tell you that you can't trade the core harmonized index of consumer prices. You just imagine new traders going, well, where's the core harmonized index of consumer prices? Who the hell on the earth has ever called CPI, core harmonized index of consumer prices? Off their heads. And they don't allow you to change. They don't allow you to trade the Chinese yuan. However, when there's is CNY, is that the yuan? It is, isn't it? Yeah. However, if there's news on it, you can't trade it. All right, I won't, because you won't let me. These guys have got ILO unemployment rate. Who the hell has even heard of the ILO unemployment rate for the pound? You might be able to tell I'm a little bit hacked off. On the 16th. Where did I just see that? ILO unemployment rate for the pound at 7 a.m. on the 16th. Do you mean the claimant counts? If so, please call it the claimant count. Right, yeah, be very careful. If you get a funded account lesson here, you're going to get an email suddenly going, you've blown your account, I assume, because you traded through the ILO unemployment rate. I'm going to turn around and ask them what the hell that is. And please identify it on the calendar for me, because there's no one else on the planet that knows what that's called. Anyway, there you go. Be careful with Fidelcrest. CAD yen, 125 ADR. Nice big push on these yens. Why did I get out of the Aussie yen? That's annoying. Yeah, very nice big push coming through on these yens at the moment. Still dropping. So hold on to your hats. I'm not quite sure why the yen is pushing quite so hard either. We're going back into neutral territory, which is obviously a little bit more bullish, the yen, but this is off the back of those that JOLTs information. So anyway, sneaky, saying one thing in the FAQ and another in the terms and conditions. I know, this is not good, Fidelcrest. I am not impressed with you. You need to sort this out. There is also no lot sizing information on here at all. Account management. It doesn't say in here, and I'm assuming account management is what they're talking about when they say when they're talking about funded. And does this apply to stage 2, because stage 2 of your Fidelcrest account is actually, you get paid on it. You get a funded account profit split, and you get a bonus. Basically, you get a profit split on verification phase, don't you? So are they saying you can't trade news on verification, or on what they call the Fidelcrest trader? And is it an account failure, or is it a slap on the wrist, or what? I haven't been paid out with Fidelcrest, so I'd be interested to know if anybody's been paid by Fidelcrest and whether or not you actually managed to get paid, because it seems like they've got a few too many rules in place. Right, where was I? Euro, before I got so rudely interrupted by Fidelcrest's stupidity. Pound yen 125 ADR. So I've got a short on the pound yen as well. I just need to check that. We're just coming down into propulsion. Taking that off 125 ADR. Banking that as well. Right. I can't remember where I got to. Euro odd. Did we look at that? Anybody remember? Yes, let's look at Euro odd. So that's nice. Potential long. Euro yen coming down nicely. Obviously, all this was extended this morning. It's not extended now. Your 4-hour RSI extension was up there above the 80. We looked at this one this morning as a good short. So that's already played out. You've missed that one. Euro New Zealand. So that's a nice potential bounce point on this Euro New Zealand down at the 24 moving average. Extended on the hourly, extended on the 4 hourly. Nice upside target to aim for there. We've just filled the propulsion gap. So as far as the market's concerned, this is all pretty efficiently traded. We've missed that. I'm not sure that's going to get caught down here. All these propulsion gaps to the downside here. Below this monthly low, I think everything is probably off the table down here now, and we're going to get these all orphaned and left behind. Euro rate is on Thursday. So it looks like now we filled that propulsion gap there. Nice opportunity to start longing that. The New Zealand obviously is strengthening on the Aussie. So I think we might need to wait until Thursday to get a proper move on this, but this is a good spot to start entering into a position on that one. Pound odd. Extended to the downside, out of this one on the push down. But again, nice looking long opportunity for a mean reversion back up into there. We have got lots of downside targets very much within reach now down here. Another ADR to push down into there. Pound rates are next week. So we're expecting those to go up. So the market should start to scale into longs on the pound leading into that interest rate rise next week. So be looking for longs on pound pairs. So pound odd, good looking opportunity to get into one. Obviously, dependent on whether or not we get that second leg down on the Australian dollar, or rather the second leg of strength on the Australian dollar. But that's starting to reverse now. M5 reversal alert has just happened on that one. So I'm just going to, I've got a euro pound I just need to take off as well. And I'm just going to take, I've just got a euro pound, which I've just taken off, which was a trade taken yesterday down here. I've just taken that off within this propulsion now. We might get a rejection here. And I like the look of this pound odd down here on this reversal alert. So I'm just going to go long on the pound odd where we are now. Give me a sec. So target back halfway up that propulsion gap, which is about 108 points, 108 pips. So yeah, looks good that oil. Sorry, oil. Just flick over to oil again. Looks good that pound odd. Reversal alert's just gone in. M15. Updates. You're just about to get a reversal alert if this candle closes. We got 20 seconds left on this candle. Doesn't look like it's going to get it. So you're not going to get the reversal alert there, but it's trying very hard. So either that support rectangle is going to hold, we're going to get a new leg down, or we're going to get a reversal alert on the next candle and then drive back up into this propulsion somewhere. Sorry, Brian's. Oh, did it again. Brian's just sent me another. Feudal Crest Trader, that's phase 3, right? So phase 2, I would assume, is here. 0.15 to 0.29. I've just taken a 76 lot long on oil. You can't limit me to 0.29 on oil. 0.29 on oil, it would need to move 7,000 years for me to make any money. I'm gonna have to read through the Feudal Crest contract again. Admittedly, I did skim read it. Oh. I can't get my thing working. Responsible and consistent strategy. Maximum lot size difference from your average lot size during the challenge. Your average lot size per traded instrument, CFDs, will be calculated and updated after the end of each trading period. Your trading strategy must be responsible and consistent. Your trading must demonstrate that your strategy works in the long term and is not based on pure luck. This means after the challenge phases 1 and 2, you can deviate from the average lot size by plus minus 30%. Your average traded lot size with Forex and metals during the challenge period was 10 lots, and with CFDs 20 during the verification professional. Lot size limits are not to be exceeded by placing one or several trades at the same instrument at the same time. Right. That's impossible to keep track of. There's nobody on the planet that can keep track of that. So basically on my evaluation, I have just taken 2 shorts on Euro US dollar, totaling 8 lots. I've taken 2 4-lot shorts on Euro US dollar. So on DAX or Aussie dollar CAD, for example, I've taken 11 lots short, because to make the same amount of money on the Aussie dollar CAD and the Euro US dollar, I have to take 50% more lots for the same distance movement to make the same amount of money. So are they saying basically I can't deviate by 30 or 40% from which of those? I think Feudal Crest is looking more and more like a con, to be honest. That's why I can understand now why they're doing 2-for-1 offers. It seems to me like it's virtually impossible to actually get any payment with them, because I'm interested in trading consistently, but too many rules that are impossible to get. How on the earth do you keep track of that? How do you know what is and isn't acceptable? So they give you a specific lot number that you can't exceed a position by. Is that what they're saying? I don't know. It's too woolly, isn't it? EuroCAD. ADR. So EuroCAD just filled all these propulsion gaps on the EuroCAD. More targets to the upside up there as well, though. I'm going to have a read through that later. So Euro New Zealand I've covered. Pound odd. Extended on the hourly. That one we just covered. Good long opportunity. Pound yen. Just got out of a short on that. That one's coming down very, very nicely. Still got one on the H1M5. Again, I'm trading manually on this. If I could auto trade, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? Trading on feed or crest. I wouldn't have a problem because I wouldn't be able to break the rules if I've got an EA doing it for me. But if I fat finger a 20 lot short instead of a 5 lot short and then cancel it, have I blown? Too woolly. Pound yen, nicely extended on the 4 hour to the upside. That's coming down now. So you should have been in that one this morning. Pound New Zealand, extended to the downside hourly. So the 4 hour is below the 25 level. Hourly, we're way below the 20. CAD Swiss 125 ADR. That's coming up to a decent level, I think, as well. Coming down to a decent. It's just gone past it. So that was yesterday's low. Basically there. This US dollar's not happy at all. I've got a long on Euro US dollar as well. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Oil is still absolutely collapsing out of bed. We're 150 ADR now on oil. This is looking like a very, very good long opportunity on oil. This thing is going to... so this is exactly where I was looking to get in this propulsion gap. And it's doing it today. 175 ADR is pretty much that propulsion gap filled. So that is that 50% pullback on the first leg, if that is to be the first leg back up. So good looking opportunity for I'm getting ready to jump in on board on that again. Pound yen, so pound New Zealand. It's way too much going on today. That one's just coming off of 150 ADR, M15. You haven't had a reverse alert yet. M5, you've just had one. That's a good looking long as well. Pound New Zealand. I've got the pound odd long already, so I'm pretty much in that trade. So pound odd and pound New Zealand are both going to do the same thing. So I'm on that one already. So I'm not going to take that. That's duplicating the position. New Zealand dollar CAD, hourly RSI, big extension to the upside, 175. That's now nearly 200 ADR. We're just tapping up into the weekly resistance, which is kind of this area here. So potential good looking short opportunity on that one, back down into there off of ADR. You have had a reversal alert on that this morning, whoops, already. So in here, you would have had a reversal alert somewhere, probably there. So this will be your potentially second entry, which is roughly half an ADR away if we get one up there. US dollar yen ADR. That's the monthly support as well. So, well, say monthly support. That's the resistance from Friday, which was last month's high. We're just tapping down into last month's high, basically. But they're not happy about this US dollar, are they? At all. Lots of money flying into the yen. I'm wondering if there's a bank or something we don't know about to topple. A lot of movement going on, or maybe this is just positioning ahead of FOMC. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry, there's loads of chat coming in. Let me just catch up on the chat. Did I just say bollocks? I did. Live. Does it apply on demo accounts? No, it doesn't look like it does. Sorry, I just realized my chat had frozen. There's loads of chat that I had been ignoring. Haven't seen any restrictions on news trading on Feed or Crest. We have now. They changed the minimum profit from 5 to 10%, but increased the challenge duration yet. That's why I've just taken $500,000 of funding with them. I'm kind of wishing I hadn't now. Anyway, it did verify with me that the lot size limits are being removed with the new rules, but who knows? Afternoon, Dreska. Just had a good gold trade. Yeah. 9R. Rally out. Well done. Pound CAD. ADR. I'm in danger of going into positive territory here, guys. Don't see that green very often. A little bit worrying. 9R on gold. Woohoo! Very nice. It doesn't matter where you hit the long button today, does it? Obviously on gold. US dollar is tanking. I'm a little bit worried about why we're seeing such a big drop in this US market off the back of that news, because this news is not normally this volatile. They're using this JOLTs basically as a catalyst for something to move the market. This isn't that bad. The job openings is irrelevant. It's the unemployment rate that we're interested in, which is coming out on Friday. So I'm not quite sure why we're getting so much movement off the back of that, but they're obviously repositioning for something, potentially for FOMC. This is a big move, so I wouldn't necessarily trust this move. Afternoon, Rem. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Sorry, I just TP'd on something. Euro US dollar, just hit TP on. Fine. Pound odd. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just flicking around all over the place. Half % there, haven't I? Where are we? I didn't pay any attention to the Dow. The Dow has completely fallen out of bed. So there's your opening range breakout on the Dow today. Hasn't stopped. 150 ADR. We've just tapped exactly into the monthly level on the Dow. We're not. 2-month high. Yeah, sorry, this is not updated properly. So we've just tapped into that previous 2-month high, which is all the way back. There. Yeah, so that level there, which we previously tapped into, rejected, came back, retested. That's the level I said about an hour ago or whatever, that potentially we'd be heading for a bounce. When the chart updates, we have bounced exactly off of that. New Zealand dollar CAD, 200% ADR. Opportunity on the New Zealand dollar CAD. I'm really glad I changed my RSI setting back to 21, because volatility is massively picking up at the moment. So just be careful out there. We've got a massive amount of volatility coming in. A minute. The chart's not updating. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's bouncing off that level. New Zealand's. Let's just finish these off. New Zealand dollar Swiss. 4-hour RSI straight off the 24 coming down. Hourly RSI extension as well. So that New Zealand dollar Swiss is pulling back very, very nicely. You missed that one. That was this morning as well. New Zealand dollar yen, same thing. Entry was this morning. In fact, entry was all the way back here. Look. So that was my first entry on it. Second entry. Didn't get a third for some reason. Probably too close. 6. That was marginal why that didn't take an entry this morning. That should have been an entry this morning. Not quite sure why I didn't get an entry on that this morning for some reason. Let's have a look at that. New Zealand dollar yen. So yeah, very nicely extended on that one, and US dollar yen as well. Obviously, these are all coming down. like a house of cards. So there you go. There's your RSIs covered. Busy day. Trading manually. Place order gains. Prayer's been answered. All your system works. Both prayers answered. Cool. Let's see if we can reverse last month's losses today. I didn't make a loss last month. I made, well, I didn't make a lot last month. I made 4.5% last month. It was crap. But yeah, 7.74 in the last 48 hours. Not bad. Obviously, early days in the month. All over the place. So again, these ADRs, when you see this starting to happen, when you get these multiple ADR days in a row, that is a sign that volatility is starting to pick up. So we were looking at the pound New Zealand ADR being 150, yeah, last week. We're now up to 194. This goes up to 400 pound New Zealand. So we're starting to see all these ADRs ticking up now. Volatility ticking up. CAD Swiss 150 ADR. So you need to obviously just, just be careful if you're still using the 14 RSI on the hourly, because if these are going to kick in now, all the volatility, you want to definitely be switching back to the 21 RSI. I switched back last week basically on that because obviously we saw the volatility starting to come in last week. Big movements on the yen, banks starting to collapse, all sorts of things going on. So you just want to make sure that you're getting into trades later, ideally. Otherwise, you're going to start getting squeezed a little bit too hard. So Dow is starting to stall out down there. DAX gap fill is on its way. So the DAX, I'm playing the gap fill short at the moment, all the way back down to there. Although I said I wasn't going to trade indices, I can't resist a gap fill. So I am just taking that one short. DAX. Dollar has gapped to the downside also from yesterday. Is it? Little gap there, up at ADR. I'm out of that long now anyway. Brian did confirm with support that lot size limits are per trade, per instrument. You can open more than one trade, but it needs to be within the lot size limit. You see, that defeats the object of it, Brian, doesn't it? So if I get in with a 4 lot long here, and then I decide to take a 4 lot long there, I'm 8 lots long. And then if I decide to take another 4 lot long there and a 4 lot long there, they're saying that that doesn't equal the same as taking a 20 lot long there, for example, or 16 lot long there. Doesn't make sense. The rules in that terms and conditions you just sent me are far too woolly and grey. I'd be worried about trading that, because you can't take the same trade on multiple accounts, can you? On multiple instruments. Yeah, so what this is risking, every single one of these trades is risking exactly the same amount. So all of these singles here, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, yeah, are all risking 0.25% over half an ADR. Yet that one is a 1.2, that one is a 0.8, that one is a 0.65, that's a 0.63, that's a 0.78, that's a 108. All totally different lot sizes. Because to risk the same amount of money on a different instrument, I have to have a different contract size. So what they're saying is, if I pass an evaluation by trading, for example, pound New Zealand, pound yen, pound odd, and euro New Zealand, because they're the only opportunities I had through the evaluation, and then those pairs went into an accumulation, and all of a sudden I then had to start trading different things like New Zealand dollar Swiss and Aussie dollar US dollar, suddenly my contract size is going to be going up by around about 50%. Not because I'm doing anything different, but just because there's different instruments in exactly the same strategy presenting themselves. So are they going to kick me out because it happens that this month the instruments are different because the accumulations are in place on one and trending on the other? Utter rubbish. And all you're going to do is end up in an argument with them about you trading exactly the same strategy in exactly the same risk parameters. However, just because the instruments are different, you're kicking me out. Bollocks. I shall say it again. It's bollocks. You can't have that rule. Doesn't make sense. And what happens if I suddenly see a great opportunity on oil, right? Look at my contracts on oil. I haven't got it on there. Oil, yeah. 76 lots long I shall be taking on oil. Not because I'm going crazy, but because to give me the same risk parameters as I have on the pound odd, right? I have to take 76 lots long on oil to get exactly the same risk. So if I didn't trade oil during my evaluation and I saw a good oil opportunity and I take it, are they going to kick me out? I've never seen a rule like that in any funded account that I've ever traded before. And it seems to me like one of those that's there to slip you up. My Forex funds doesn't give a monkeys. Neither does EA. So yeah, interesting. We will see, won't we? Somebody needs to get paid so that we can find out. Are we in danger of question mark? Had a Brit boss who ran the sales boiler room in Savile Row suits used to holler, "Are we in danger of making any money today?" I've already done that. That's a bad rule set up for us to lose. Yeah, I think it is. Dodgy. I'm going to get my contract. I have to dig out my contract somewhere. I can't remember where I've stuck my contract, but I'll have to dig it out. Why don't I organize anything? Beetlecrest. Profit Trader. Apex. E8. Forex funds. Got the contract in here. Haven't got. I'll have to dig out my contract. If they're saying it's going to change, obviously we need to know as well. May I know if CAD yen still can be bearish until 98? It can, yes. I don't know. Hang on a minute. Yep, definitely. It can go all the way down to there. It can do whatever the hell it likes. It's a random instrument that goes up and down. So yeah. But right now we're 150 ADR. So the propulsion target to the downside is there. So if we're going to get continued yen strength and oil is going to continue to collapse through the floor, which potentially is on the cards, then yeah, there's no reason why this shouldn't push down a lot further. So Aussie dollar yen, 150 ADR. Something is going on with these yens. They're undoing everything that they did on Friday at the moment. Really wish I'd have held on to those, but never mind. So yeah, just be careful trying to mean revert these yens. Again, A-shaped recovery potentially in play on all the yen pairs. Same thing for the Aussie pairs. There you go. What did I say? That one's pretty much done. So that's your Aussie dollar yen. There's your target hit of yesterday's high. So A-shaped recovery looking like it's going in across the board on the Aussie pairs. Let's go Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD's just starting. Obviously, this one is a lot slower than the rest because we've got the Aussie dollar weakening. We've got the Canadian dollar weakening. So obviously, this is going a bit more sideways. So as you can see, the Aussie dollar is even weaker at the moment than the Canadian dollar. So recovery is going in across the board on these. Really wish I hadn't made that loss yesterday because having a 2.5% day today. Not to offend anyone from Cyprus, but it's Cyprus. What? Got burnt from a FX company years ago, and they were from Cyprus. Are they Cypriot? I love the way they don't even put their email address on there. Yeah, Cyprus. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm just going to trade as I trade, and I can argue with them later. Aussie dollar CAD out. So that's a nice entry. Straight in, straight out on the reverse alert this morning on Aussie CAD. Exit. So that's 50% hit as well. So when we see these big propulsion gaps, quite often we find they fill 50% and then you get a new leg up. So just watch. It looks to me like we are just going to do a complete A-shaped recovery on these moves. But if not, this is where you want to start thinking about getting out of these. I'm just going to stick excuse me, a trailer on the Aussie dollar CAD short. Oil, wow. 150 ADR on oil, still going. Yeah, see, look, Aussie dollar CAD, right? I took 2 positions on this. Yeah, so I took an initial position there on 175 ADR, and I took a second position up here. So obviously there's my average, nicely in profit now. TP's all the way down there. So in a are they looking at this now saying I am averaging 5.5 contracts, or am I averaging 11 lots as per Fidelcrest's rules? Because I've got 2 positions on, because I've spread my risk across 2 positions on this instrument, but each individual trade is a 5.5. It's just too woolly, isn't it? So now next time I take a full size short instead of 2 half size shorts, am I going to get penalized because that is 100% more than the lot size I passed the evaluation with? Just because I decided on this particular occasion to take a half position and a half position instead of a full, are they going to hold that against me? It all sounds a little bit too one-sided to me, doesn't it? Still holding on to yens. Well done. Good man. Keep holding them if you can. Braver than me. I like my money in my pocket. Katan, Aussie dollar pairs have great opportunities this week. Just closed the trades with 1.1% profit. Good job. See if I get paid at the end of the month. Yeah. So what I would do, Brian, well, I don't know. It's up to you what you want to do, but trade the account into profit Right. Trade the account into profit and maybe stop and ask for a payment, because I've had this before with another firm, an old firm. It's gone now, but I was trading away happily on a funded account, and I did what I usually do. I ran the account up to a percentage in profit, and then I stopped trading it, and I sat there and I waited for payday to come, which in their case I think was 2 weeks or something like that. Or it was a payday. It was once a month. It was a payday. So I waited and I put in the withdrawal request, and it wasn't until I put the withdrawal request in they started arguing with me about similar sort of thing. It wasn't this woolly. It was something very unwoolly, which I said no. Go and look at the terminal, and they went back and verified it, and fine, they paid me. But it wasn't until I actually went for the withdrawal. So with these rules, these terms and conditions, I get the feeling some of these companies, when you go to put your payment in, that's when they start the argument. Because what they're assuming is you're going to blow the account before you get to the payment stage anyway. And that's when you get tripped up. The big firms like E8, My Forex Funds, FTMO, that sort of thing, they don't give a monkeys because they're earning 22 million a month in evaluations. Who gives a monkeys if I pay out 10 million? We still made 12. People like Fidelcrest, however, may not be making that much in evaluations, and it's important that they get as few people as possible paid to make sure they stay net positive. I don't know. As I say, I've never traded funded with Fidelcrest. I've passed evaluation and passed through to the funded stage, but not got a payout. So we will have to find out. But you will find out when you get that button press to say pay me as to what they do. Euro odd hit TP in and out. Good job. Same here. I'm in and out Euro odd today. Nice easy one. $8.7. I might as well give up, haven't I? 8.7 2 days. I might as well just jack it in now. I'm profit for the month. Quite happy with 8.7%. Don't be silly. This is going to be a 20% month. Really wish I'd have taken that Dow opening range breakout on my Fidelcrest account. I would have passed by now. 1% risk on that. So the 5-minute ORB is now approaching 3R. The 15-minute pre-market ORB is approaching, I only go to 6R. It's 7R, isn't it? 7R on that pre-market. Where's Outro? He's not in here, is he? Outro normally takes those pre-markets. Whether or not you could have held that is another matter. SPX is getting wrecked. Yep, they will all be getting wrecked. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P, they'll all be doing the same thing. Coming down hard. Aussie dollar CAD is starting to think twice. DAX is coming down nicely as well. DAX is coming down to previous day's low, which is also a monthly level as well. That is 2 months ago's high. Any experience trading with on funded trader, TFT? The funded trader? No. I can't get past the game show style that they have on their website. Yeah, this is a business. This isn't playing knights and castles. Yeah, I just can't get past this. I can't take them seriously. And they use the worst broker in the universe, 8cap. Just not interested. It's a game. This like 10% off, 120% refund, 15% profit splits from phase 1 and 2. We'll give you all of this stuff if you could ever possibly get past our rules and hold your account. not. It's like all these brokers that give you a 100% deposit bonus. The only reason they do that is because they know that they're going to get 80% of your money. So yeah, just, and you know, this thing here, this comparison, they compare themselves to FTMO, E8, and my Forex funds. Everything about all these companies is better than them. There's nothing that's better. You know, it's just like they say, like 70-30 split. That's not true. That's not true. I'm funded with them. It's more than 70%. You know, it's just a load of rubbish. 8 cap, terrible. 8 cap spreads on the funded trader are terrible. Yeah, 8 cap are terrible. 8 cap are basically a broker, and they basically offer a white label prop firm. Yeah. So these guys, like the Trading Pit, for example, they are probably one of them. I can't see there, but if you go onto 8cap's website and go down to the bottom, you will see the there's a partners thing somewhere. Funding. White label, there you go. Partnerships. So basically what you can do is you can sign up here to become a prop firm. And they basically roll out all the technology for you to become a prop firm. You enter the prices you want to charge. Bang, you're a prop firm. But it's all run through 8cap. And then they give you terrible, terrible, terrible spreads, terrible order execution, and just terrible. They're just terrible. So they used to be. I haven't used them for ages because they were so terrible. But they might have changed. Pound Swiss, 125 ADR. This is all starting to slow down a little bit now. We've got wicks forming everywhere. The Dow has just slowed to a potential stop. Pound odd. Still pushing at the moment. Just seeing what's happening with oil. So oil is still dropping. So oil on the hourly now, we are down below the 25 level. So very, very similar move to what we saw there and what we saw there. So looking potentially for flag break. So there is a good mean reversion opportunity on oil here. Not really a level. But a propulsion gap. So this whole area, I suppose that's the level there. So really like this level on oil because we've got the confluence of propulsion gap completion, retracement level, and previous resistance, which is the first test as a support. So really, really nice entry, dropping down M5, M15. Just wait for that reverse alert. You're not going to get a reverse alert on M15 until it's done a whole V-shaped recovery. So that's out the window. You can't take that. M5, you're going to get a really nice tight one there. Look. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. It's all the way down here now. God, this chart is terrible. I'm going to have to get this account updated. It's not very good. So reversal alert on this on M5, dependent on your broker, will be there, very nice and tight. So 150 ADR. So you've got this previous level here, which is yesterday's low. And then you've got, obviously, the pre-market break as potential resistance on the way up, if it's going to continue downwards, that is. So good looking opportunity for longs here. I'm going to jump in on this as soon as I can, basically. As soon as we get any signs of strength, but there isn't any at the minute. Absolutely falling out of bed. RSI extended as well now. Dow is bottoming out at support. So nice level. Propulsion gap fill. This is what I couldn't envisage getting 200 ADR on the Dow. Very rare for a 200 ADR move. This market is scared to death of something. Fed swaps pricing bigger decline in rates from expected peak. I'm not quite sure what is causing this, but it's just market movement ahead of FOMC, I think. So repositioning, this whole lot could be completely undone tomorrow, but we will see. Maybe the Fed have decided they're not going to increase the interest rates tomorrow. If that's the case, look out below. Is it time to buy oil, Bella? Yeah, so I'm certainly jumping in, yeah. As soon as I can get any kind of bullish price action, but there isn't any at the minute. We're just putting an outside bar on M5, so we are starting to get some indecision going now. So this candle is an outside bar. Actually, it was more likely a... Can't actually tell what that is, to be honest. It's an exact... So that's an exact double bottom and double top. So we've basically... Bulls took control there with an outside bar. So we had that candle there. We put in an outside bar, which is indecision. We've put in a double top, double bottom, indecision. So potentially we're running out of steam for the sellers. So this could be it. Break of this high here. That hasn't updated for some reason. Oh, yeah. Right. So there you go. So break of that high basically is potentially your entry now. That's tempting. Right, so if I was to take an oil long here, right? So let's say, for example, I'm scalping. This is to do with the fetal crest lot size thing, right? So you can see here, if I was to take a long where this green line is and put my stop where that red line is, so nice little stop down there. So I'm going to get in with something like a 768 pip, in this case stop, which is around about a quarter of an ADR, and put my TP up there, for example. I need to enter now with 192 lots long. So based on that rule, if I hadn't traded oil during my evaluation and I decided now to take a nice scalp long with 192 lots, which is still only risking 0.5% of my account, exactly the same as I have on all the other trades I've taken through the evaluation and through the funded stage. I'm risking 0.5%, but because it's oil, I need to take 192 lots. Is that a fail? That's the question for them. Because that's utter rubbish if that is the case, because it means you are restricted to the instruments you traded during evaluation. And if I didn't see an opportunity, I wanted to take on oil during evaluation for a week, they're going to stuff me, aren't they? Inquiring minds want to know. Guess we'll find out at funded stage. Anyway. 10 days minimum trading days, 3 days in, we'll see in 7. Crest have also got a 10-day minimum, have they? Where's the rules, right? On this website, they've got challenge, rule after rule after rule. Where are the rules for being funded? Is this it? No. Trader's share of profits will be paid automatically to the trader's account with preferred payment method after the trader has met the conditions of the funded account phase. The trader must provide profit split details, blah, 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 blah. They don't go into any of the rules, do they, on the website? It's very naughty. I'm starting to not like Crest, and I'm starting to regret buying £500,000 worth of valuations with them. Anywho, we'll see how we get on. Got a pass yet. Any thoughts on gold? No, I haven't. Is the honest answer. At the moment, it's going through the roof because so that's a beautiful long on the Dow. I'm just going to take my DAX off short. I'm going to get back on my DAX. I want to bank it, basically. You know, I'm not going to. Yeah, gold is basically obviously just another US dollar cross. So it's going nuts at the moment to the upside because the US dollar's dropping. We are out the highs now of the range. So propulsion gap fill is underway. So I'll be looking long up into there. And then obviously FOMC tomorrow. One way or the other. Don't know. Aussie CAD setting up on 5 minute. So we've already got the reversal alert and the retest there. Obviously, this is not going down because the Canadian dollar is so weak. So of all the other Aussie pairs, everything's starting to go that way apart from this one because the Canadian dollar is just so unbelievably weak off that oil move. Which is almost giving us a reversal on M5. Got 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes left on this candle. We're just about get a reversal alert on oil. So this is a beautiful little look. See, I just want to take half a percent risk long there. 200 lots. Not even sure I'll get 200 lots on. We'll see. Gayrat, where is your target for the pound yen for shorts today? Not sure about how to close my short position. Pound yen. So I'm out already. Well, the EA's out already in this propulsion gap, but you got these two targets down here. So this indicator, the support resistance propulsion indicator, gives you your targets. Yeah, we know that price spends its time moving up and down through propulsion gaps. So downside targets at the moment are there, or previous resistance. So there's your last week's high, which was previous week's high as well. We've broken out, so we're going to retest potentially that area there. So this would be my ultimate target, this propulsion gap, because it's also confluence with that double top. That's what I would aim for. It depends how long you want to hold it. You know, I'm in and out with half an ADR. I want my money in the bank. I don't want to be sitting on swings. I just want to bank. They only gave me FX in the evaluation phase and on the funded side as well. I got everything. What, on Feudal Crest? Look, I've got everything. Indices, all indices. You got stocks in there you can trade, crypto, and all FX pairs, including exotics. Trade everything on Feudal Crest. Oil, I'm long. Just got triggered into a long. A little bit early on the reverse alert, 10 seconds left, but you're going to get the reverse alert here. This is the first bullish sign we've had on oil since the tank. Oil tank, get it? Wall Street, is this... this is what Feudal Crest said. The lot size in your funded account, terms of use, set by your trading activities during the challenge, is the lot size range required per position. Again, clarify. As a position trader, a position is made up of multiple trades. Are they saying per trade or per position? For me, if I'm long on the Aussie dollar CAD, I can have many trades within that position long. Too woolly. Are they classing a position as an individual trade? Need to know. You can still follow your strategy and open multiple positions. Right, so they're classing positions as trades. For example, if your lot size range for Forex and metals is 0.25 to 0.53, you have two positions of 0.33 in Euro US dollar and one 0.5 in gold. Partial closes are certain. Okay. What? I don't know what that means. I don't quite understand that, but yeah, I don't know. I have to just wait and see what happens with it. I've got to get funded yet. So I'm worrying about something before it happens, but I'm just a little skeptical about it after seeing that contract, because it doesn't mention any of that on the website. DAX is still coming down. Dow is coming down again. I'm tempted to close out this DAX as well. I'm just going to shut this DAX and I'm going to shut the pound US dollar. Sorry, the pound odd. Running. So DAX have just got out there. Reason being, we're here. Yeah. So we've been here before with big drops. Look, this is not our first visit to this level after having a good hour or two of solid downward movement. We're back here again. I just had $1,000 on the table, basically. So I'm not going to risk this pulling back into my entry. I will still be happy to take a short on it, but this is too strong. If it breaks it, it breaks it, but high probability of a bounce, isn't there? So, and the pound odd, I'm just getting out of this one. Again, $1,000 on the table, so I've just taken it. This is a 250k account, so it's actually only 2% gain I've made today. But do that for 4 days, 5 days, past valuation, wouldn't I? Take it while it's there. Dow is putting in a double bottom. Again, beautiful opportunity for a long on the Dow. Really tempted to take that. I got a slightly different pattern on the Dow on the Feudal Crest account. Look. So we've double bottomed on Robo Forex, but on the Dow, on the Feedal Crest feed, we're actually putting in a higher low. And we put in a higher high there. Same time frame, isn't it? Yeah, 5. So looking a little bit more bullish on Feedal Crest as well. Okay, I'm just going to place a pending order on the Dow above that high. I'm just going to see if I can ride a quick Dow trade back up. So looking literally just for a flag to form back up into there. So it's a very quick scalp trade, but it's got potential to be sort of 1.5% return for a very, very, very quick in and out today. So where the Dow is at the moment, we're kind of in the middle of sort of no man's land in theory, but this little area of accumulation here before that break. So these propulsion gaps are now filled, which is that accumulation break there. We've slammed through that level. We're down at 200 ADR. So I think this is, after that move, I think we're due some kind of little pullback at least, or a pause. So it's either going to do something like that when it actually goes, or we're going to flag for a potential breakdown. So we've got a big propulsion back gap there, which is going to be formed in the next 30 minutes if we don't pull back into that area. So I'm just taking a quick speculative long back up into that area, basically. Quick scalp. US dollar CAD 150 ADR. Huge push. Look at it. Massive. Massive moves today, isn't it? Greska, only 2%. Only 2%. With a market reversal EA, do you recommend more volatile pairs? It doesn't matter, Neo, what you trade with the EA. It's whatever you want. Basically, the EA works off of ADR. So the reason I programmed the EA to work off of ADR, as you know, is because I use ADR. ADR is the better or the best way, in my opinion, to measure market movement. Pips are irrelevant. They mean nothing. And so does lot sizing, as we've just been discussing this afternoon. Yeah, this one here is a 1.2. This one here is a 0.78. The risk on these trades is exactly the same. Yeah, reason being is because the distance they move in a day in pips is different. Therefore, you need to risk a different amount on them to get the same result. So everything I do is based on average daily range of the instruments that I trade. So it doesn't matter what you trade. Everything's got an average daily range. So if you're trading something that's massively volatile, it's going to have a higher pip movement on an intraday basis. Therefore, your risk will be a percentage of that high volatile movement. If you've got something that is very small and moves like that, your risk is going to be exactly the same. It's going to be based on the average daily range of that movement rather than that movement. And therefore, your lot sizing will also be different. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you trade everything. I trade all FX pairs. And you can trade gold, oil, indices. You can trade crypto with it, trade whatever you want. As long as you're using ADR, you're always going to be taking risk based on the movement of the instrument that you're trading. So it doesn't matter if it's volatile or not. If it contracts and it hardly moves, your risk will be smaller. The movement risk will be smaller and your lot size will be bigger to compensate for the amount of movement that is moving less. So that's why we use ADR, so that we can measure, this is the whole purpose of this 194 pips on average is what the pound New Zealand is moving at the moment. The euro Swiss is moving 40 pips at the moment. So what I'm doing is, if I want to risk 0.25% on half an ADR's movement, I'm using 20 pips there of risk. Here, I'll be using somewhere in the region of 90 pips risk in movement, but my percentage risk is exactly the same. You trade what you want, doesn't matter how volatile it is. Obviously, more volatile pairs move faster, so you can get out quicker, but sometimes. 125 on euro Swiss, 175 on oil. Gutted. I was pushing down. I'm just going to put a stop on that. Oil, I'm putting a stop at around about 220 ADR. Just under here. Basically, this propulsion gap, if we don't support here at 200 ADR, I don't want to hold this, obviously. It's too risky. So I'll take a loss on it. Got in a bit soon on that oil. This thing is like an absolute steam train today. I can't believe that this Iraq news on the production is caused that. And I can't believe JOLTs has caused all this movement. We never move on JOLTs. Very weird going on today. Steve, my IC market shows the same pattern as your fiddle crest on the Dow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not in the Dow yet. Still accumulating at the moment. So we're retesting again that level. If we get some more movement. Which ADR indicator do I use? Mine, my own. This is mine on the links going past on the bottom. Go to the website. Everything you need is on the website. All the education, all the indicators, everything. EA will automatically adjust the volume based on the ADR levels. Yeah. Yeah, so the EA basically, when you set the EA up, well, what I set up is a 0.25% risk over half an ADR's movement. So that's what I've always used to get into positions. So New Zealand dollar Swiss. Yeah, so the risk is basically percent of balance to risk is 1/4. And I'm risking that based on an ADR stop loss, which is a 0.5%, right? So half of an ADR, if I get in here and price moves half an ADR against me, by the time we get there, I will be 0.25% in drawdown on the account. If it moves an entire ADR against me, I will be 0.5% in drawdown on the account. Yeah. So whether that ADR is 10 pips or 100 pips is irrelevant. I am risking 0.25% on half of its normal average daily movement. I don't care if it moves 10 pips, 100 pips, or 10,000 pips. I am risking 0.25% of my account on half of its normal movement, whatever that may be. So the EA automatically calculates your lot size based on if it was to move that far and I wanted to risk that amount of my account, what lot size should I use? So it auto calculates, which is why you see I have a completely different lot size on every instrument. 0.69 there, 0.58 there, 0.73 there. The risk is exactly the same. It's 0.25%. But the lot size is auto calculated by the EA, so you don't have to worry about it. Risk is automatically calculated for you. Dow has just taken out the lows. We are now 200% ADR on the Dow. Oil. Come on, oil. Stop being silly. How often do you manually close a trade? I don't. Well, every now and again. Not often. The EA does it all. That's the whole purpose of the EA, is to do this all for me. My job. Have you watched the Bootcamp, Leo? You've watched the Bootcamp, haven't you? My job is to watch this. My job is to manage this column. So if something's just going to go and hit target and pop itself over there, like New Zealand dollar Swiss will in a minute, that will just become realized profit. I don't need to worry about it, do I? So forget that, forget that, forget that, forget that, forget that. This has got 2 positions on and is nearly 1% in drawdown. I'm not going to even worry about it until it gets to sort of 2.5%. And then I'll start thinking, right, maybe I need to manage this because it might be a little bit too wrong. So my job is literally to sit here and just watch this and monitor this. So this sits on my P&L, like I've got running on the other screen here. So that's just basically sitting on my monitor over there. And I'm just literally monitoring that. And I'll deal with anything that gets into trouble. If it doesn't get into trouble, the EA will shut it. Although that's a manual account, so I have to do it manually. But with the market reversal alerts EA, you don't need to do anything unless you get into a squeeze. Then you manage it manually. But that's what's all taught in the bootcamp. So it's just going to work. Let it work. All these trades today that have just closed out, haven't touched them. So that Aussie dollar Swiss, the EA got me in automatically on the reversal alert there, and it got me out automatically on 0.5 ADR. So it moved down 50% of its average daily range, which is 25 pips. So there's the entry. That is 25 pips. So ADR on this is 50. It moved 25 pips in my favor. I took the profit. I didn't. The EA did. The EA does everything. That's the whole point of it. Same there, look. Aussie dollar yen. So the EA got in there. Price pushed hard against us. So it took off. It did automatic drawdown control there. Yeah. So it took off 1/3 of the position after it had moved 3/4 of an ADR against me. It took a second trade there as we had a reversal alert. And then it closed out both the positions when they got to half an ADR. Yeah. So the ADR on this pair is 99, so 50. So that is 90 pips. That is a loss of 40 pips. 90 minus 40 is 50. ADR is 100. Half an ADR is 50 pips. So the EA shut the position out for me automatically when I moved half an ADR into my favor. That one obviously closed out 3 positions, but they were like staggered because we had a news event. Aussie dollar, US dollar. ADR is 59. Half an ADR is 29. Well, it's 60 and 30, obviously. So there's the entry. That is 30 pips. So the EA got me in automatically on the 5-minute reversal alert this morning. There. Exited me automatically on 0.5 ADR. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to think about anything with the EA. The EA, you tell the EA, I want you to get me into a trade and I want you to get me out of that trade when we've made half an ADR in profit. And it will just do it all for you, basically. But if you get a squeeze, like we've had recently on some of the pairs like the pound New Zealand. Yeah, so we've had a bit of a squeeze on the pound New Zealand. I've had to do some manual drawdown control as this thing is pushed. So we've had a entry back down here somewhere. No. I can't remember where it was. So these older trades, look. So got into a position short there. It pushed up, took a second, pushed up, took a third. Did some drawdown control on the way. I took a manual trade there, which is aggressive drawdown control. Then that pushed down. I exited that and all positions down there. Took another one there, there, and there. Took a long there, took a short there. So you can see this one here. First entry was there, short. Pushed up, second entry, pushed up, third entry. Closed all three positions there because the total sum of those three positions is half an ADR. 65 pips in this case because the ADR on this is 129. So 65 is half an ADR. So as we pushed down and we got to half an ADR in profit, closed out the positions. But along the way, it did two drawdown controls, one there on that one, and then it closed out another one on that position there. So scaled out of two, closed out the whole lot. But again, I haven't touched it. Full auto. Because I didn't need to. But if I need to intervene, I will intervene. Because the EA can't see news events, and if so, it doesn't know what the expectation of that news event is. It can't read press conferences and understand what the Fed is saying about potential forward guidance on interest rates. Yeah, so all these EAs you see out there with news filters that go, oh, I'm not going to trade over the news. First of all, they're filtering out what actually moves the market, which is news. So if you want volatility and you want to make money, you need the news because that's what moves the market. That's what makes the money. And secondly, EAs can filter out news and say, I'm not going to trade during a news event, but they've got no idea what the outcome of that news event was. So they just carry on trading by their rules after the news event, not knowing what the hell is going to be potentially happening moving forward to an instrument. So you've got to manage that as a trader and just look after the ones that don't work. If it's working, forget it. If it's not working, deal with it as you need to. So I only manually close if I am doing aggressive drawdown control. So with the pound CAD. So this one here, look. So you can see initial entry was there. Second, third, fourth. That was me doing aggressive drawdown control, which failed. That's the EA taking another trade. That's me doing aggressive drawdown control there, which failed. And there, which failed. So I had three aggressive drawdown controls there. All of them failed. That one worked. And I got out and I closed that all out manually. I left these two running. So I intervened on this one. All those propulsion gaps are all filled now. So potentially this is going to do another leg down. There, and that's where the EA will close out those positions. So for the EA to get out of these ones, it needs to be in 51 pips of profit. So there's the average. 50, that's 63, that propulsion gap. So as long as we trade down into that propulsion gap and fill that propulsion gap, the EA will just close these last two ones automatically for me there. So I don't have to worry about it again. So I've intervened here, done some drawdown control myself, shut out some of these manually down here using the profit I gained on that aggressive drawdown control position. And now I'm just going to let the EA manage the rest of it. So as this pushes up and gets far enough distance away from the entry there to take a third, it will take another position up there for me. I'm not going to get a reversal out on this until there, which isn't going to be, that's going to be too tight. So it won't take one because the conditions aren't right for it. But yeah, makes sense. So just worry about the stuff that you need to worry about. Forget about the rest because the rest of it just goes in the bank. There's that loss day, look. So had a 12% loss day. So that was this day here, Wednesday last week, 26th. That day there, look. So this day here, we were on the back of a 5-day squeeze on the Canadian dollar. And the pound was rallying. So I took 3 aggressive drawdown control positions and they all failed, leading to that. So the EA took a 6% loss. I took a 5 or 6% loss, something like that myself. So I added that loss with my manual trading because I got my aggressive drawdown control positions wrong, which happens sometimes. That's rare though, doing something like that on a day. That's a big squeeze across multiple instruments. Prab, tell me about pound US dollar rather. So the pound US dollar is a cross between the British pound and the United States dollar. At the moment, it's sitting there. I don't know. It's not going anywhere, is it? Sideways. We're waiting for FOMC. There's no point in getting into anything on this unless you're going to take a speculative position ahead of FOMC. Depending on what the Fed does tomorrow with rates and what it tells us in the after market press conference, this thing's going up or down. I can't tell you where it's going tomorrow. Every US dollar pair at the moment is moving hard, but right now, pushing up to there, we got a little bit more downside. So if it gets down to ADR today, I'd say potentially take a long ahead of FOMC, but get out of it before FOMC. And lastly, Baba Yaga never dies. Of course he doesn't. Baba Yaga also cannot see the future, as much as he tries. Look, this is us today. Look, this is our John Wick today. This is a good example of today, isn't it? Big day today. John Wick is happy. Yeah, I would be careful ahead of FOMC. What's the longest squeeze I've been in? I don't know. Months. Probably, I would say 2 months, maybe 3, maybe. Don't know. Aussie New Zealand last year was probably one of the longest squeezes I've been in. Uh, 14th of October till the end of November. Six weeks, I guess. David, remember your Aussie New Zealand squeeze? Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Yeah, so that's probably the longest squeeze I've been in. I wasn't in for the whole lot though because I closed it here. I got out basically. But that would have been your longest squeeze, which is about as bad as it gets. So that goes through the 14th of December. So that's 2 months. So 2 months is probably your weakest one. Oil pushing up. I don't think it is. Okay. Just had some news come in. All right, yeah. So it's just starting to come off 175. So yeah, it's pushing up a little bit. Need that high broken. We'll get some movement to the upside. Target yesterday's low or the pre-breakdown low, which is there. These propulsion gaps, basically. Just had some news come through. Lawmakers urge Fed's Powell to halt interest rate hikes. So there is something going on. This is why this is collapsing, not because of unemployment or anything. This is all coming down off the back of something else happening, which has just been confirmed there. So what they mean by lawmakers, I assume, is Congress want Powell to stop hiking rates. So the main problem with rates at the moment with the US dollar is unemployment. So they're worried about unemployment. And unemployment goes up when interest rates go up. The Fed, the US are doing a really good job of keeping unemployment under control based on them being up at 5%. Inflation is coming down at a rate of knots. Yeah. And this is what I was saying the other day. The speed inflation is coming down in the US is dangerous, because what you don't want to do is overshoot 2%. 2% is a stable economy. What they don't want is inflation through the roof, but equally they do not want inflation below that, because that starts to contract and then you start to go into recession the opposite direction. So recessions can be caused by swings in either way. At the moment, the US is up here at 5.25 is what they're calling its terminal rate. It looks like now they're calling for the Fed not to increase interest rates tomorrow. I have to say, the speed that this is coming down and the fact that unemployment isn't being badly hit at the moment, there is an argument for them not doing that. If that happens tomorrow, that US dollar is coming down like a house of cards. So this could be a precursor to tomorrow's move. They could be reading into the fact that the Fed is actually going to pause interest rates tomorrow. So if that is the case, we'll be in trouble. Why is that colored green? That was weird. Dow reversal is just starting to kick in. I'm long on the Dow. Yeah, we need to be a little careful here, people. If you're short anything US, long anything US, could be a bit of a squeeze coming. There are 3 EAs on the site. Which one can I start with? Rem, whichever one you want. They're all different EAs. So if you're on the website, on the EA pages, there is, so the opening range breakout EA has a video about the strategy and how the EA works. Very simple. This is a scalping strategy. It's a trend breakout strategy on the indices only. The market reversal alerts EA is the one that I use for position trading. So this is my bread and butter. This is what I have spent the last multiple years making money doing, what this EA executes for me. And that's all taught in the position trading bootcamp, which is here. That's all free. So it's a 5-day course, if you like, or 12, 14 hours of education, which teaches you how to position trade. The market reversal alerts EA is designed to automate the entries and the scaling in of those positions for you. Yeah. The Price Action Toolkit is a manual scalping EA. So you don't see me using this in here often. I use it on my Forex funds account for entering trades. So this is for scalping. So not really one you would want, unless you want to scalp. And in which case, then if you've been scalping without it, you'll look at it and go, how did I scalp without that? Especially if you're using MT4. If you're using something else, it's fine. But MT4 is just not good for scalping. So yeah, market reversal alerts EA is one you want, really. But watch the bootcamp first before you buy anything. Coming back down again on the Dow, look. And oil. These have got possibilities of ruining my day today. John Wick 4 just got released at cinemas. I know, I haven't managed to see it yet. Disappointed. I will be there at some point. I just haven't had a chance yet to get there. So, right, I'm going to leave it there. Just keep your eyes peeled on the news. Bear in mind tonight, New Zealand dollar. So we've got unemployment rate for the New Zealand dollar coming out overnight after market close this evening. So there's potential for that to move up or down. Don't know, whatever the unemployment rate comes out at. So unemployment on the New Zealand dollar at the moment is 3.4, ever so slightly creeping. So we're at max rates. I wouldn't be surprised to see the unemployment figures going up for the New Zealand dollar. So that might be bearish New Zealand dollar. So quite possibly we'll see something along the lines of 3.6 to 3.7, which will be negative New Zealand dollar. So we might get a push down on the New Zealand dollar overnight. Moving in tomorrow, we've got Orr speaking from the Royal Bank of New Zealand. So he will be talking about forward guidance on interest rates based on that. So again, 2 o'clock in the morning, UK time, you're going to get some volatility on the New Zealand. So it may be that we get a drop on the unemployment rate if they come out negative. Then he comes out and he's all hawkish and we fly back up. So see what happens. But there's lots of movement potentially overnight on the Aussie and New Zealand pairs caused by New Zealand dollar. And then into tomorrow, we've got obviously non-farm employment at 1:15, and then PMIs and FOMC tomorrow evening. So tomorrow, I suspect we'll have Wednesdays of FOMC usually are very sideways because the market doesn't want to drive any money into any currency until it knows what the rates are happening with the Fed. And from what we've just had today, that there is potential for them maybe not to hike. Lawmakers led by Democrats urged the Fed to halt rate hikes ahead of Wednesday's announcement. So could be some drops coming in the US. So just watch your US exposure. We may find that we're about to start a collapse. Stefan, Bootcamp is great. Started last week, but my English is perfect to understand everything. That's good because I only speak in English. Right, I'll leave it there. Anything else you need, let me know. I'll be in the Telegram group. Links coming along the bottom to the Telegram group and in a minute. And there's links in the description if you want to come and join the Telegram group as well. So back tomorrow morning at 7:50 for the new London session. Back tomorrow afternoon for the New York session as well. And hopefully this all just keeps pocketing the dough. But I hope you have a good afternoon. Anything else you need, let me know in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll see you then. Have a good one.